All right, Taylor, it's all yours. Just let me know when you need to advance.
Sure. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taylor Skelly. I'm a P3. This semester, I've been working with Dr. Patel on a special topics that we decided on. I was originally interested in the Python course, but I've taken Python in the past, so we decided special topics was a better route. So just to get in, my special topics was machine learning and its role in oncology. I didn't really know much about machine learning in general at the beginning, so I spent the first 6 weeks of the semester really diving into what machine learning was, and I did this through different online like resources such as Kaggle or the Google machine learning course. So I was looking at like concepts around machine learning such as overfitting data, underfitting data, and then it had like coding exercises you could do to help like practice and understand like how, if you manipulate the code in certain way, how that would affect the output of the model. So that's really what I did the first 6 weeks. And after I felt like I had a pretty good grasp of what machine learning was and how it works, I dived into like researching applications of machine learning specifically within oncology. So this really meant I was looking at different research studies and how it was being used in terms of like diagnosing like cancer or affecting treatment predictions. So some of the studies that I looked at, one was really interesting to me. It looked at treating multiple myeloma and predicting treatment, how a patient would benefit from a treatment before they actually received it. So, like at the beginning, you would have to, trial a patient on a medication in order to understand or see how they would react to it. But with this, using machine learning, you can actually model a patient's response without actually them having to receive the medication. Another study I looked at predicting seizures with machine learning, but that's another one I looked at. So after researching machine learning applications in oncology, I collaborated with some of the pharmacist physicians within the community. So I reached out to my P3 IPI site preceptor. I had the Hillman Cancer Center and I had some conversations with her and some of the physicians at her site. And after that, I looked at highlighting legal and ethical challenges in machine learning and what faces it, such as like data privacy issues, and making sure that machine learning devices are accurate and reliable. Next slide. So all my work was summarized in a project report that I'm about to turn in at the end of the semester. I basically went over what I talked about in more detail. And then there's potential for a future P1 or P2 to continue this work. You can reach out to AI startup companies or established connections. That's something I tried to do this semester, but I didn't have any luck. There was a bunch of startups that I found had like some really interesting medical devices, like machine learning based medical devices. But I wasn't able to get in contact with anyone. So that's something that someone in the future could try to do more. So that's all I had to talk to you guys about. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me at my email at the bottom right there. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Taylor. We opened up the chat for any questions the group may have. I did want to throw out one to you in case we didn't hear any. So if anyone does have questions for Taylor, feel free to share. But Taylor, what was either most surprising or what was the difference between your perception of machine learning before your semester and then after your project?
Honestly, before I began, I really didn't know anything about machine learning. So I was kind of going into it without any knowledge, but afterwards I feel like I have a more better understanding of what it is and all the benefits that it could lead to in the field of healthcare, not even just specifically oncology. Like I said, I mentioned that there was a seizure study where they use machine learning to predict response, or they can use it to predict if a patient would have a seizure, and they monitor brain waves, and then they would send that response to the patient so they can get preventative care to help with that. So I think my biggest takeaway is that there's a lot of uses for it, but the challenge is implementing it with all the legal and ethical concerns, which I highlight in my project report.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Taylor.